Forget the shuffling, brain-eating monsters you see in movies. That's Hollywood fiction. In the mountains and hidden communities of Haiti, a much older and honestly more terrifying reality exists. What if a sorcerer could steal your soul, bury you alive, and then raise you from your own grave, not as a monster, but as a mindless slave? This isn't a movie. This is the secret of the Boker and their zombie. And tonight, we're exposing how they do it. Section 1. The legend of the living dead, the creature we call a zombie, haunts our nightmares. It's become a symbol of societal collapse and mindless consumption. But this modern monster is a pale imitation, a distorted echo of its true origin. To find the real zombie, you have to go to the Caribbean nation of Haiti, land, a vibrant culture, deep history, and a spiritual tradition known as vodou. Here, the zombie, or zombie in Haitian Creole, isn't a fictional ghoul. It's a central part of a deeply held belief system, and its existence is a fate far more terrifying than just being eaten. The Haitian zombie is a body without a soul. It's a person robbed of their consciousness, their memory, and their free will. They aren't aggressive predators, but tragic, passive figures doomed to a life of servitude. They are, quite literally, the living dead enslaved in this life with no hope of rest in the next. This isn't a story about a viral apocalypse. It's a story of a targeted, ritualistic process, a spiritual and social punishment carried out by a specific figure in the vodou tradition, the Boker. The Boker is a sorcerer, a priest who serves with both hands, meaning they practice both benevolent and malevolent magic. Operating for hire on the fringes of society, they wield knowledge of potions and rituals that others are afraid to even speak of. For the right price, a Boker can be hired to settle a score or carry out the ultimate punishment. In a society where community and ancestry are everything, being turned into a zombie is worse than death. It means being erased, becoming a tool, a mindless drone with no hope of rejoining the ancestors. So how do they do it? We're about to pull back the veil on this secret world. We'll explore the chilling history that gave birth to this. Fear and dissect the ritual itself, from the mysterious coup de powder, or powder strike that fakes death, to the dark magic used to capture a human soul. This is a journey into one of the world's most enduring and misunderstood legends, where we will separate fact from folklore and reveal the frighteningly plausible mechanisms that make creating a real-life zombie possible. Section 2. A history written in fear and blood. To understand the zombie, you have to understand the history of Haiti. The fear of becoming one isn't just a superstition. It's a deep cultural trauma born from the unimaginable horrors of slavery. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the French colony of Saint-Domingue, now Haiti, was the most profitable colony in the world, built on the backs of hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans. The conditions were so horrific that many believed death was a release, a spiritual return to their ancestral homeland, a place they called Land Guéni. It was a final escape. But what if death wasn't an escape? That question is the core of the zombie myth. The fear of zombification was the terror of being denied even that final piece. It was the horror of having your body brought back, only to be forced into eternal servitude. The zombie became the ultimate symbol of slavery, a body without a will, a slave forever. This fear was a powerful tool of control, sometimes used by overseers to discourage thoughts of suicide. The message was clear: your suffering won't end when you die. This terror is woven into the fabric of Haitian voodoo. Now, voodoo is not the dark caricature you see in movies. It's a complex, syncretic religion that blends the spiritual traditions of West and Central African peoples with elements of Roman Catholicism. For the enslaved population, voodoo was a source of strength, identity, and resistance. Within this belief system is a unique understanding of the soul. In vodou, the soul is made of at least two main parts. First is the gros bon ange, or big good angel. This is the life force, the energy that animates all living things. When you die, it returns to the cosmos. The second, and most crucial part for our story, is the petit bon ange, or little good angel. This holds your personality. Your memories, everything that makes you you. It's your consciousness. According to the belief, this is what the Boker captures. By performing the right rituals, a Boker can sever the petit bon ange from the body, trapping it. The body is left as an empty shell, a corpse cadaver body without a mind, ready to be controlled. For decades, these stories were dismissed as just folklore. Then, in the 1980s, the case of a man named Clairvius Narcisse shocked the world. In 1962, Narcisse checked himself into a Haitian hospital with a fever and body aches. His condition got worse, and despite the efforts of American-trained doctors, he was pronounced dead. His death was certified, and his own sister identified his body before he was buried. 18 years later, in 1980, a man approached Narcisse's sister in a village market using a childhood nickname only family would know. It was Clairvius. He told a horrifying story. He said he was conscious but paralyzed during his death and burial. Hearing his sister cry as nails were hammered into his coffin, he claimed his grave was opened by a boker who beat him and forced him to work on a sugar plantation with other zombies for 2 years. He was kept in a compliant, dreamlike state with a strange pace. He only escaped after the boker was killed. He'd spent the next 16 years wandering, afraid to go home, believing his own brother had sold him to the boker over a land dispute. The case of Clairvius Narcisse was a bombshell. It was the first zombie to come forward whose death was medically documented. This led a young Harvard ethnobotanist named Wade Davis to Haiti to find the secret of the zombie powder. His investigation, documented in his famous book The Serpent and the Rainbow, provided the first plausible pharmacological theory for how a person could be made to appear dead and then be revived. His work remains highly controversial, and the science has been disputed, but it opened the door to a terrifying chemical reality behind the legend. Section 3. The Secret of the Kuda Powder, Creating a Zombie, is a 2-act horror story, mixing pharmacology and psychology. It starts with the Kuda powder, the powder strike. This isn't a metaphor. The boker creates a complex, toxic powder that can be rubbed into a wound, alone in the face, or spread on the ground where the victim will walk barefoot, allowing it to absorb through the skin. Wade Davis managed to get samples of this powder, and while recipes varied, his analysis pointed to a few core ingredients. The most critical component he proposed came from pufferfish, which contain one of the most potent neurotoxins known to science, tetrodotoxin. In small doses, this poison causes numbness. In near-lethal doses, it induces complete paralysis. The victim's metabolism slows to a crawl, and their breathing becomes almost undetectable. Crucially, the mind often remains aware. The victim is trapped inside their own corpse-like body, conscious but unable to move or speak. This perfectly matched Clairvius Narcisse's account. But the pufferfish, according to Davis's theory, is just the start. He found that the powders often contained other toxic ingredients. One is the cane toad, whose skin secretions can affect the heart. Another is a type of tree frog, whose secretions irritate the skin, which may help the main toxin enter the bloodstream. And then there's the most unsettling ingredient: human remains. From a scientific perspective, ground-up bones add no toxic effect. But from a ritual and psychological standpoint, it's everything. It taps into the deepest cultural fears of death and desecration, transforming a poison into a magical weapon. The powder now seems to hold the very essence of death. Once the powder is administered, the victim sickens and appears to die. A doctor, finding no pulse or breath, signs a death certificate. The family grieves, and the body is quickly buried. But the boker knows the poison is temporary. They have to act fast. Under the cover of darkness, they exhume the body, often within a day or two, before the victim suffocates. Imagine the terror of that moment. Waking up buried alive only to see your tomb opened by the sorcerer who put you there. The victim is then beaten and bound, a trauma that begins to break down their will. But they aren't a zombie yet. For that, a second step is needed. The victim is forced to consume a paste, often containing the plant Datura stramonium, known in Haiti as the concombre zombie or zombie's cucumber. Datura is a powerful hallucinogen that causes delirium, amnesia, and high suggestibility. This, combined with the trauma of being buried alive, is what may chemically wipe the slate clean, destroying the victim's sense of self. They are reborn into a state of confusion, given a new name, and from that moment on, they are no longer a person. They are a zombie. Section 4. The stolen soul and the soulless body, the chemical horror of the powder, is only half the story. In the worldview of the Boker and rural Haitian society, the real zombification is a spiritual act. The poison might stop the body, but it's the ritual that steals the soul. As the victim lies in their death-like trance, the Boker performs a ceremony to capture the T-bon, Ange, the part of the soul that holds a person's identity. This soul fragment, now called a zombie astral, is believed to be trapped in a small clay jar or bottle. According to this belief, possessing the T-bon Ange gives the Boker total control. The physical body, the zombie cadavre, is revived, but it's an empty vessel, animated only by the basic life force. It has no will, no memory, no character. As long as the Boker holds the soul in the jar, the zombie remains their slave. The life of a zombie is one of misery. They are taken to remote areas and forced to perform manual labor, their eyes vacant and movements sluggish. They are kept in their compliant state with a steady low dose of the dater-laced paste, ensuring their minds stay clouded. They are socially dead. To their community, they are gone. According to folklore, there is one thing that can break the spell: salt. Feeding salt to a zombie is said to instantly restore their senses. The sudden, agonizing return of their identity reportedly fills them with a rage to seek revenge on their enslaver, before finally returning to their grave to find true rest. Because of this, zombies are supposedly kept on a salt-free diet. This tragic victim of chemical and spiritual enslavement is a world away from the monster on our movie screens. The transformation from Haitian slave to Hollywood monster started in the early 20th century. During the American occupation of Haiti, Marines returned with sensationalized tales of voodoo and living dead, which led to the 1932 film White Zombie, starring Bela Lugosi. This film cemented the image of the zombie master in the popular imagination. But it was George A. Romero's 1968 classic, Night of the Living Dead, that completed the change. Though Romero called his creatures ghouls, his flesh-eating corpses became the new archetype. The Boker, the stolen soul, the symbol of slavery, all of it was gone, replaced by a monster born of plague or radiation. This interpretation has done a great disservice to Haitian culture, reinforcing harmful stereotypes about voodoo. The Hollywood zombie is a monster to fear. The Haitian zombie is a soul to be pitied, a reminder of the real-world horror of having your very self stolen from you. The secret of how Haitian sorcerers might create real-life zombies is a chilling combination of three threads: chemistry, psychology, and faith. First, the proposed chemical assault, the coup de powder, poison perhaps containing the neurotoxin tetrodotoxin that induces a paralysis so complete it perfectly mimics death. Second, the psychological destruction. The victim is exhumed from their own grave and unimaginable terror and then given a psychoactive drug like datura to induce amnesia and confusion, effectively erasing their personality. And third, the spiritual theft. Within the Haiti belief system, the Boker captures the victim's soul, their consciousness, and traps it in a jar, creating a compliant, empty shell. This is the grim reality behind the legend. It isn't about the dead rising to eat the living. It's about the living being forced into a state of death, only to be brought back as something less than human. The true story of the zombie is a testament to a historical trauma so deep it created a fate worse than death itself: the complete loss of one's self. It's a chilling reminder that the most terrifying monsters aren't the ones from fantasy, but those born from the depths of human cruelty. If you found this journey into the shadows of history and belief as fascinating as we did, subscribe to our channel for more investigations into the world's strangest phenomena. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a new story. And tell us in the comments what other dark legends you want us to uncover next.